How often should you be conducting business development? Well, the answer to that really is all of the time. If we're not constantly reviewing what's working, what's not working, what our turnover is compared to what we expected it to be, then we're going to find ourselves just being all over the place and never really achieving what it is we're setting out to. So I normally stick to this kind of structure. Is at the end of every year, normally I actually go by calendar year and not necessarily financial year, because that's just the way I prefer to work. But if you prefer to work by financial year, please do just change this around. But I tend to go October to December is when I sit back and look at that whole entire calendar year and think, how did we go? I go back through my original business development plan and take a really good look at it and actually almost completely rewrite a brand new one for the upcoming financial year, calendar year. So this is where I go, wipe the slate clean, really brainstorm and think very carefully about where I want to go, and then compare that with the one I had for that particular calendar year and see where we can update, change, innovate, grow. This is where your entrepreneur really needs to come out, but obviously your manager is the one that is filling in that plan, so that we do it in a strategized way. But the technician needs to be consulted as to whether the plans we're putting into place are actually doable, like if we're actually able to implement them with the resources that we have. So after we've got our massive plan, brand new, written up at the end of a calendar year, ready for us to start putting it into place in the new calendar year, then I will review that on a quarterly basis. So I'll bring that out quarterly, have a really good look at our stats and numbers, have a look at if we're hitting our targets. Perhaps we need to increase our targets. Perhaps we've achieved what we set out to do and we need to set the bar higher, which means changing our strategies, of course. So that's when I just do updates and edits based on how far we moved in that 3 months. And then even on a weekly or monthly basis, I'll be checking in with the metrics of the company, and we will be looking at metrics later on in this business development program. So this is where I really take a look at how many sales have we made, how much profit percentage margin did we make in each of those sales, what cost did I actually have to put out to get that sale in the first place, and so on. And this is where I really decide whether the strategies we're using are effective, whether they're profitable, whether I'm going to keep doing them, whether I'm going to change them or try something else out. Normally I'd have more than one strategy going on at the same time. So we'd be analysing all of our metrics and statistics around those and just editing and iterating as we go along. So that is just a little bit of a structure that I use. And I actually put in my calendar, I actually block out scheduled time to work on my business development plan. So I'd highly recommend, as soon as you finish this video, go into your calendar and block out a good 3 days. It's anywhere between preferably the November sort of time for you to sit down and do a really good plan. If you haven't got one, plan that to do now. Do it right now and start working on that. Of course, through this program, we're going to be going through that anyway. Also block out your time for your quarterly reviews and your monthly statistics checking in. Even if it's just looking at your bank account, do put some time aside for you to be looking at whether the marketing strategies you're using are actually effective or not.